Welcome to Pass to the Call. My name is Stephen, and today I'm talking about the Brighton game. So if you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out, and then come back and listen to hear what I have to say about it. So, well, the lineup was a little bit different this time out in terms of there were a couple of tweaks here and there. Gaeta in goal, Klein, Tompkins, Gakey, and Mitchell at the back. So Tompkins have come in for Richards, who had a bit of a break in this game. Doucouré, Hughes, and Schlupp. Hughes going through the middle, and Elise, Ayew, and Mateta, who had Ayew going through the middle. Not sure about Mateta on the left-hand side, but we'll have to wait and see how the game progressed. And I thought first few minutes of the game, first 10 minutes of the game, I thought we started really well. We were passing the ball around. We were trying to get in behind Brighton, and I thought we were doing really well. Um, as the game wore on, after about 10 minutes or so, Brighton started to impose themselves on the game a bit more and started to create a couple of chances. Made Gaeta make a couple of good saves, so it was a bit of a concern at that point. But I thought that we were doing okay. We were kind of defending quite well. I thought that we were working hard together to try and stop the ball going through. I was very pleased with Hughes. I thought Hughes and Doucouré in the middle worked really well, and certainly in the first half they were getting together and trying to break the ball up and things like that. So as the first half went on, I think Brighton got a little bit more into the game, started to get a little bit more possession, and we were kind of we had our flurries here and there, we had flashes here and there where we had possession and tried to break them on the counter attack. But in general terms, it was Brighton leading the way, I think, most of the first half, and that's how it went into the second half as well. I think that in the second half, you had again, we started quite well in the second half, started to again pass the ball around, had a little bit more urgency in the second half than maybe in the first half. But then again, as the second half wore on, we kind of lost a little bit of momentum, and Brighton started to come into it a little bit more. And of course, the problem is that Brighton have scored some great goals this season, and they're in a good position in the league. And I think that went to show when they scored. Well, they scored their first goal, which actually turned out to be not a goal because it was offside. But so that was quite good. But then a little bit later on the 63rd minute, um, Solly Marsh scored a goal, which was I don't think it was the defender's fault totally, but I think that there could have been perhaps done a little bit better to try and stop that ball going in. But again, it was one of those things where a little bit of concentration gets dropped, and that's how it goes. But we managed to get back into the game on 69 minutes from James Tompkins, though, and the thing with that was a little bit of luck. The ball, it was a free kick again, and Elise floated the ball in. Sanchez completely made a fluff of it, and Tompkins was able to head it into the goal. So it was a little bit of luck for us to get us back a level, and that was certainly I think good for us. We needed a little bit of luck here and there, and I think that was our turn certainly. And then for the rest of the game, I think it was a little bit even. I think they were trying to get forward, we were trying to get forward on the break and stuff like that. But that's a just general overview of the game. But there was a couple of things which really concerned me a little bit. For me, the consistency has been a bit of an issue for us recently, and it certainly showed quite a lot in this game, I think. I mean, let me know what you think, and of course, let me know your thoughts down in the comments as always. But I think that we're a little bit inconsistent. There were times when we were passing the ball really well, one touch football, we were getting the ball forward, we were making space and stuff like that, and it was really good. And then other times we couldn't hit a player. We couldn't pass the ball to any of our players. Things broke down really easily, and I think that was a bit of an issue that I was thinking that we were having, was we were very inconsistent throughout the game. I mean, sometimes we have inconsistent games, but we're starting to get inconsistency throughout the actual game itself. We're having flashes of great play, and then we're having flashes where we're not even able to do the basics. So for me, that's a little bit of a concern, and hopefully that's something that they're going to be able to work on and turn that around. I thought, Elise, I think, did okay. I think that we had a couple of good dribbles, a couple of good flashes of his skill. I think he did well at the free kick, of course, getting into that dangerous area. Eze for me, and now let me know if you think I'm wrong about this or whether it's just my imagination. Eze doesn't seem to be running on all cylinders at the moment. When he came back after his injury, he was not quite 100%. Beginning of the season, it seemed to be that he was back. He was playing really well. He was dribbling, doing the flicks and the kicks and all that kind of stuff. But since the World Cup, it seems that he's gone off the boil a little bit more, and he's not quite producing the stuff that we know Eze can. I mean, maybe it's because he's having to track back more. Maybe Patrick Vieira's put more pressure on him to track back and you know, try and do things like that. Maybe he hasn't got the freedom to express himself the way that he has in the past. I don't know, but he doesn't quite seem to be the Eze that we know he can be. Personally, I don't think we necessarily missed Zaha that much. I mean, you know, I know that's a very odd thing to say sometimes, but I think that, you know, if you've got a Zaha on one of his really fantastic days, obviously he's unplayable and he goes into any team in the world. But generally speaking, I think that we played okay without him. And yeah, you know, we could have done with a goal, perhaps one of his special goals. But I think in general terms, I don't think we did that bad without him. Hamada came on, and I think he actually did all right. He made a couple of good tackles, and he made a couple of good getting past players and trying to do 1-2s, which didn't work off, but that wasn't his fault. So I think he actually did well, and I think that all of the players who came on in the game didn't do too badly either. I think it was a bit of a shame for Mateta. I think that he was trying. You could see he was trying, but I just think he's not that kind of that kind of striker. You know, it's very hard for him, I think, to just be the target man and things like that. So I think he's not necessarily, I don't think, suited to that way of playing, which is a bit of a problem because obviously without Benteke now, he and Edouard are really the only two players we've got that we can use as target men. AU worked hard as he always does work hard. I'm not convinced that he should be in the front line. I think that he's not consistent enough in the goals to be that far up. I think if you're going to play him, you play him in the midfield area or just behind the strikers where he can work and do things like that. I think having him as a straight out striker, I don't think it's going to work because he doesn't score enough goals. But anyway, those are my little thoughts here and there. I thought the defence in general worked quite well. I think everything was good and that sort of thing. But there's just the inconsistency which is starting to be a little bit concerning. That we need to be, you know, we don't seem to have the tempo that we played with in previous seasons under Vieira. You know, where we'd be running, energetically running forward and just trying to overwhelm teams. We seem to have backed off that a little bit now, and I don't know why that is. But anyway, I'd like to hear your thoughts down in the comments, as always, what you think the situation is with Crystal Palace and how you think things could be turned around and perhaps make ourselves play a little bit better. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe.